I'm Smalls.
And I'm Tarzan. Good to see you again for another week of singing, dancing, and this week we're going to teach you not only about God's love, but also a couple of spy tricks.
Tarzan, why did I not know about this? We're supposed to be talking about focus, faith, trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. And this week, we're talking about knowing Jesus changes the way that you can see everything.
But if I told you, I wouldn't be a very good spy now, would I?
But you're not a spy.
But once again, Smalls, if you knew, would I be a good spy?
It's okay, Tarzan. You can tell me. I am also a spy.
You are?
No, and neither are you.
Fine. Well, I like my real job better anyways, cause I'll just sing and dance with the kids.
This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I live it loud, I shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you. This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I live it loud, I shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you, oh yeah. Woo! You ready? Come on, let's go. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, anywhere, oh. Anywhere. I fix my eyes on you. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, anywhere. I fix my eyes on you. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only, you are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you.
Good morning once again. I am glad to see you. It feels like I haven't laid eyes on you in so long. Like Small said, we're going to take a closer look and focus. We're finding out what it means to have faith.
Faith is trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see.
Now, I'm going to show you a cool spy trick. Smalls, I didn't come up with this. It's a real spy trick. Just let me go gather my spy tools. I promise you that this is what it's supposed to be. It is a real thing. Trust me.
I don't know if I trust him.
I thought you were a spy. Spies gotta trust spies. So, this probably looks like an ordinary piece of paper to you.
Yep.
Right? Now, I have some invisible ink. I made it myself because I'm a spy. So, here we go. It's pretty easy. All I need is my spy tool. And I'm just gonna quickly do some spy stuff.
Spy stuff?
Spy stuff. It's highly classified, I can't tell you. So, looks like a normal piece of paper, right? Wrong! Because I use my invisible ink, if I put it up to the light, you can see, what does it say, Smalls?
It says focus.
It does say focus. So, even if I'm not a spy, it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly! I wanted to do this because it helps us remember our bottom line for today, which is knowing Jesus changes the way you see everything.
So can I do this at home?
A spy never reveals his secret, Smalls.
Tarzan!
Fine. If you want to try this at home, you don't need any special ink or anything like that. All you need is a white piece of paper, a small paintbrush, and lastly, talk to your grown-ups about getting some lemon juice or some vinegar. Put the vinegar or the juice into a small cup or a small bowl, and then all you have to do is dip in your brush, brush it off a little bit, and then you can write whatever you want. When you're done the message, you can deliver it to whoever you want it to go to, and then all they have to do is put it up to the light to read it.
But be careful with the light bulbs because they might be a little bit hot. But
Yes.
Tarzan, I have a secret mission for you.
Go on.
Okay, your mission, Tarzan. If you...
Oh, if this is a real mission, you have to call me by my agent name. It's Little Brown Duck. It's a code name, and the origins is classified, so don't even ask.
Okay, Little Brown Duck.
Yes.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to come up with a Bible story in the time that it takes the kids to dance and sing to our next song.
I think I'm the right man for your job.
I can't stop. I won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I'll never stop singing your praises. Singing your praises.
on your mission.
Oh, I think I got a good one. It comes from the book of Acts, and it's about a guy named Saul. When he was young, he went to Jerusalem, which was the capital city of Judea, to learn about one thing and one thing only. He wanted to learn about God's law, so he went to one of the greatest rabbis or teachers of the time. He eventually made it his full-time job to study God's law. He would pray 3 times a day and did everything he could to follow the law as close to the letter as possible. Like other religious leaders in Jerusalem, Saul was caught off guard by Jesus. Saul and the other leaders were very upset that Jesus claimed to be God's son. When Jesus had died, his followers said that they had seen him alive. Against all odds, the numbers of Jesus' followers began to grow. This was concerning to Saul and the other people he worked for. So Saul arrested one of the new Christian leaders and punished him as hard as he could. After this, Saul went on the hunt for more Christians to punish. He even went as far as to go on a spy mission of his own. He wanted to go to a temple in Damascus, another big city, so that he could find where the Christians were hiding. But on the way to Damascus, Saul saw a blinding light. And when I say blinding, I mean it made him go blind. From the light, Jesus spoke to Saul and asked him to love the Christians the way that God loved him. Jesus told Saul to make his way to Damascus, and when the time was right, he would meet a man.
That's it? He wasn't like loving everyone like he was supposed to? Then he met Jesus and went blind? That's really dark, Tarzan.
No, that's not the end of the story. I'll tell the other half next week. But the first half of this story talks exactly about our bottom line, which is knowing Jesus changes how we see everything.
I guess you're right. He was bad, but he could see, and then he met Jesus, and then he went blind.
No. Well, I guess you could look at it that way, but I think the bigger moral of the story was that we think we know what's best, and we act and behave the way we want to, just like Saul. He thought he knew everything, but the only person he was loving was himself. Jesus reminds us to be loving and kind to everyone, and to put others first.
Oh, kind of how you thought you were a spy, and you thought you knew what you were doing, but you don't.
No, not at all like that.
Let's have the kids watch a video about the Bible story. And I'll put you first by explaining that you're not even a spy.
Sure. Wait, what?
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Acts, chapter 9, verses 1 through 9.
If anyone was set up for the good life, it was Saul of Tarsus.
Greetings.
Though Saul's family was Jewish, he was also born a Roman citizen. Throughout his life, he was known by 2 different names.
You may call me Saul or Paul.
As a young man, Saul was sent to Jerusalem to study with the famous Rabbi Gamaliel.
Let's see. You have achieved 100% in classical literature, 111% in philosophy, and in ethics, 99%.
Oh, I vow to do better.
Saul became a Pharisee like his father before him. He carefully studied God's law and prayed 3 times a day.
Dear God, help me follow your laws 100% perfectly.
Like the other religious leaders in Jerusalem, though, Saul was caught off guard by the events that surrounded the life and death of Jesus.
Good riddance. Now that fool can't try to overturn God's laws anymore.
Haven't you heard? Jesus' follower says he's returned to life.
They've seen Jesus?
They've seen Jesus.
Oh, those riffraff will slink away soon enough.
Against all odds, the followers of Jesus didn't fade away. In fact, the numbers began to grow.
5,000? You're telling me that 5,000 people are following the way of a dead man?
Well, technically, they think he's alive.
Not helping.
The religious leaders in Jerusalem did everything they could to squash the new movement. They even arrested a leader among the Jesus followers named Stephen. After telling lies about him, they dragged him outside the city.
This man is a disgrace.
Saul stood by and held the coats of the men who picked up stones and threw them at Stephen until they killed him.
If Stephen had just let go of this Jesus nonsense, he wouldn't have had to die.
It's terrible. I heard people are following the way of Jesus in other cities too.
What? Inconceivable.
Saul quickly became known for hunting down people who believed in Jesus. When he discovered that some Jews in Damascus were following Jesus, he went straight to the high priest.
This Jesus thing is spreading everywhere.
I'm aware.
They think he's alive.
Hashtag yup.
Someone should do something.
I hope you have something constructive to say.
Give me letters to the synagogues in Damascus so I can arrest all the believers and bring them back here.
Now you're talking.
Saul set off for Damascus with the blessing of the high priest. He traveled with a group of men to arrest the believers they found. After days on the road, they neared the city.
There it is.
We'll make it by lunch.
No, we must take time to pray.
As he did 3 times every day, Saul stopped and turned to Jerusalem to pray, certain God was on his side.
Dear Lord, help me to catch every single one of those despicable Jesus people.
Suddenly, a light more brilliant than the midday sun blazed down around Saul. He staggered, fell to the ground, squeezing his eyes shut against the glare.
Saul, why are you opposing me?
Saul gasped. It felt as though the whole earth shifted beneath him.
Who are you, Lord? I am Jesus. I am the one you are opposing.
The men around Saul stared in horror and confusion, unable to speak. They could see no one, but heard a sound, perhaps like a roar of thunder.
Now get up and go into the city. There you will be told what you must do.
Saul reeled. He struggled to his feet and finally opened his eyes. He saw nothing, only darkness.
What's happened?
You tell us. We saw the light, and you fell, and this sound, and then you said...
I can't see.
What?
I can't see. I've been blinded.
That's not good. Here, take my hand.
Saul grasped the man's hand and shuffled a few steps forward.
Who are you talking to?
I think it was Jesus.
You heard Jesus?
I heard Jesus.
Saul's companions led him into Damascus, where he stayed at the home of a man named Judas on Straight Street.
Want something to eat?
I'm not hungry.
Or water?
Not thirsty.
For 3 days, Saul wrestled with himself and God. He'd come face to face with the very man he knew was dead, but discovered that Jesus was very much alive. Now blind, Saul was forced to see everything in a brand new light.
Carson, I really don't like it when you leave the stories half told.
Well, you know, there's a little thing about Little Brown Duck. Mystery is his middle name.
Wouldn't your middle name be Brown?
You know what? You're making it really hard to focus. Speaking of which, come on back next week where we will continue to explore our new theme of focus.
Be sure to keep an eye out for your God sightings. Last week was something that made you go, wow. This week, keep an eye out for something that makes you
Wonder. Something mysterious. Something that makes you go, what even is that?
Anyways, we hope you guys have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.